All right, Jesse's back. We added images to Torchlight Infinite Hero Rank, TLI Hero Rank. We're pretty pleased with the latest version. I didn't think we were going to add pictures. I didn't think it was going to be worth it. But these little icons, turns out that, AI is getting better, AI is getting faster, and it just makes things easier. And so it didn't take us as long as I thought to actually get these reference URLs and reference images added. There are still some little mishaps with the site. Like the Vorax, there are some skills that got changed, and so there are no longer reference images, just for example. But 99% of builds you're going to see on the front page, they are going to have all the reference images and URLs and icons. It should all be looking pretty clean. These talent board icons are not entirely accurate, but they're close enough for right now. I may fix them later, but everything else should be fine. Everything else should be functional. And now hopefully we actually get to play the game ourselves. So I'm trying to decide if if I should just re-roll at this point. We're not even remotely in Profound. I mean, we're hardly in T8. It's so embarrassing, but we put a lot of hours into this project, and I'm pretty pleased. One of the things we added is the hover over. So, well, it looks like it's bugged out. Of course, on my demonstration video, there it is. You should see Torchlight. There it is. Hover over. It should give you things like tags, things like this is basically the metadata from TLIDB. So it should give you plenty of detail when you hover over and describe, what we're looking at. So I'm really pleased about that. I didn't think that would be that easy to do, but again, this is just something that Codex was able to sort out, and I had to test all this. We didn't have too many things we had to go through to get this sorted out and working. And we already added the modules. I think I mentioned that in the last video. The module images looks like those aren't missing. I don't really have a great place to log issues like that or bugs. I mean, it's basically all in my brain. So we may have some place we need to document that in the future. And ideally, I'd like to have some of this in a place where community feedback will be accepted. Not necessarily on GitHub, maybe just on somewhere else, a Discord or something. And I do mention on the Torchlight Discord itself that I always ask people to give me feedback. And I don't generally get much feedback, but it's better than saying nothing at all. We did also add something to the stats page. So the stats, I haven't done a lot of changes to the stats page. It's pretty much the same as when we very first deployed it. It'll show snapshots and changes from last snapshot, and then also this little chart. But I want to add a little more metadata, like I'll add some more detail specifically to the charts and to the graphs, because I like charts and graphs. I like the data part of this project. It's part of the reason I did it. But the other thing we added is actually these skill tags that we extracted from TLIDB. You can see that, the majority of people are using a spell of some kind. Now it says 133%. That's because people are using multiple, right? The spell skill tag is very popular, even on builds that are not attack builds. Chances are there is some kind of spell that could be used as an alternate 6-link. And then attack, if you look down at attack, you notice it's 45. You got to remember that the only skills that show up in the rankings have to have at least 4 supports. And so if your attack has only 2 supports connected to it, then it doesn't show up. Same goes with like a secondary skill of some kind, an empower skill, for example. And that's why you ended up seeing a lot of resurrected Warcry. If you go to Vorax, you ended up seeing a lot of resurrection Warcry. The reason for this is because people would add all of these extra supports to it. People would often have 5 supports on their support skill, Resurrection Warcry. And like, imagine that in Path of Exile. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? Why would you have a curse or like a mark skill, like something that's just, adding to your damage, but it's not your attack itself? Why would you put 5 support? Why would you make it a 6 link? It doesn't make sense to have it a 6 link. 6 link is only for damage. Well, in this game, there are a bunch of supports you can put on a utility skill that can make it really useful. Anyways, so back to Linearia. So the skill tags I thought was kind of interesting, a feature that we just added this latest deployment. But I think that's probably it. There are some other things we added that have nothing to do with like what's visual on the page. We added some like better stuff for search engines, and we added some, I basically asked Codex what its opinion was on getting our site accessible, and if someone was interested in a leaderboard of some kind for the Torchlight Infinite game, would they be able to, find this site through just traditional search methods, or do they have to stumble upon it on a Discord or something? Anyways, so we did make some other changes, but overall, nothing probably worth mentioning. I do think it's interesting that the hero that I'm trying to play myself is Thea 2, and super behind on all the stuff. I mean, I'm no one to take a reference from here, because I have not done any playing. I've just been developing this entire season. Let's get our free poll. And no one is playing the new. This was an updated hero, and look, 14 people across all 3 regions. That is so bad. I mean, that's nothing. If we go to the stats, it's I mean, it's not going to look any better if you look at Thea. Look at the drop off, just tanked. I mean, the peak number was 0.019% of all players. That's the peak percentage. But I want to put more actual numbers, hard numbers in here, and like, for example, I want to see the label these axes and stuff like that. So that's probably a feature we'll add at some point. But yeah, that's it. Just a quick video. I figured I might as well do these little developer journal things, just so y'all know where my head's at with this, and hopefully you all can see this on YouTube and give me direct feedback in the YouTube comments as well. But anyways, yeah, that's it for now. Y'all have a good day.